We have to go for the Psycho Boost here. We did farm to 100 energy. Psycho Boost will be taking out Cresselia, but we debuff our attack by 2 stages. We make it to the Zap Cannon. How much damage is this going to do? What's up everyone, I'm CallumOnToast, and in today's video I'm going to be showcasing some absolutely insane battles in the Open Ultra League submitted to the channel by previous Battle of Spice winner MEJP2, who's running Attack Form Deoxys with Zap Cannon, and he lands plenty of Zap Cannons in these battles. Now just to give you some perspective, an Ultra League Attack Form Deoxys has a higher attack stat than a level 50 Hondo Shadow Mewtwo, and Zap Cannon has the joint second highest damage output out of every charge move currently available in the game, only behind Aeroblast. So despite being non-stab, this is by far the hardest hitting combination of Pokemon and charge moves in the game, and it means Deoxys can essentially one-shot anything. Now the team is pretty simple. Pidgeot is in the lead with the sole purpose of debuffing the opponent's attack so Deoxys can come in and farm them down, and Steelix is just there to sponge damage since Deoxys will need both shields in pretty much every game. With that being said, let's just get into the question of the day. What is your favourite mythical Pokemon currently available in Pokemon Go? Let me know in the comment section down below, and with that being said, let's get into the battles now. Alright, so going into the first battle, we lead Pidgeot into a shiny Charizard, so just going to stay in this lead matchup. They are running Dragon Breath, so we will be able to easily outpace them to the charge move. We go straight for the Feather Dance, and Feather Dance actually grabs a shield as well as debuffing their attack by 2 stages. We can now safely let this move go through. Even if they go for the Blast Burn, we should just about live it there, making it to the Feather Dance number 2, and this will quad debuff the Charizard's attack. And we also grab the final shield from the opponent, so absolutely perfect scenario for us. We can now come in with the attack form Deoxys, and even though they are quad debuffed, these Dragon Breaths are still going to chunk, and a Blast Burn would have probably still taken us out. But we can now go for the farm down. They have a Cresselia in the back, and even though Cresselia is one of the bulkiest Pokemon in the Ultra League, Zap Cannon one-shots the Cresselia. I do not believe that damage. That was absolutely insane. And now we come in with the Steelix. All shields are down on the opponent's end. We've still got a shield remaining, so it's very likely that the opponent will go for a bait, and we're actually going to call the bait. It is the Icicle Spear. We would live an Earthquake anyways, so that's why we could comfortably let that move go through. They're now going to go for the charge move number 2. It is the Earthquake this time around. We do shield it correctly. We can go for the Crunch, and this should be taking out the Wall Rain from this range. It actually barely doesn't, but one more Dragon Tail does the job, and we take that game. So into the next battle, we see a Swampert in the lead. So this is a very nice scenario here because we can grab shields, we can debuff their attack, and we can very easily tank the mud shots even when they're not debuffed on our Deoxys. So we're now going to go for the Feather Dance here, and can we grab a shield once again? Yes, we do. We grab that first shield, very nice. And now these Hydro Cannons really aren't going to do much damage to our Pidgeot, so we can easily live that, and we will be able to make it to the next Feather Dance. They actually come in with a Cresselia. We're going to go for the debuff once again, getting the debuff with the Feather Dance, and we're staying in. We don't make it to the Brave Bird, but that's absolutely fine. We can come in with either Pokemon here. We are going to come in with the attack form Deoxys. We might farm up a ton of energy and then eventually swap into our Steelix. I'm not really sure, but let's see. They go for the Moonblast and they get the attack drop, which is really unfortunate. We bank a ton of energy and then we swap into our Steelix. I really like this play because attack form Deoxys is going to be so deadly in the end game. We're now going to go for a Crunch into the Swampert coming back in. Crunch grabs the final shield from the opponent, and we get the defense drop, and we're going to use our shield now. They go for the Hydro Cannon. I don't know about that shield usage there. That's an interesting shield, but we are going to have to let the Earthquake go through. It still doesn't take us out. Steelix is absolutely incredibly bulky here, and that doesn't quite take them out either, meaning we can come in, Poison Jab, falling down. They now come in with the Cresselia. We overfarm as much as possible. We've got 100 energy. We go for the Psycho Boost, debuffing our attack, and our attack is double debuff, but they have a Wall Rain in the back, and this debuffed Zap Cannon still one-shots the Wall Rain. I do not believe that. That was just absolutely outrageous there. I've never seen so much damage in my life. But into the next battle, we see a Slowbro in the lead. So this is going to be really nice if we can get these debuffs, because Confusion will be resisted by Deoxys. So a quad debuff Confusion will lead to a very nice farm down for our Deoxys. We're obviously going to let this move go through. Could be a nice beam. It's actually the Psychic, so we do live that quite comfortably. And we can go for the Feather Dance here and hopefully grab a shield from the opponent. We do grab both shields from the opponent, so the threat of the Brave Birds just works really well for this team. Of course, not every single battle is going to turn out like this, but we can now come in with the Deoxys and we will be able to shield once and fully farm down this Slowpoke, and we are going to have so much loaded energy. So we shield up the Psychic there, no debuff, and the opponent is going to come in with Empoleon, and this is easily going to one-shot the Empoleon. We actually only charge to a nice, and it still takes them out, and now they've got Clefable in the back, and this should be a pretty good, very comfortable matchup for the Steelix, even though of course we're not running the Earthquake, because Psychic Fangs will add up over time, and even though these Dragon Tails are double resisted by the Fairy typing, we just very easily wall this Clefable here, as nothing they can throw is going to hurt for any like meaningful damage whatsoever. That Meteor Mash barely even tickled. We can now go for another Psychic Fangs, and we should be able to make it to one more Psychic Fangs before this Clefable is able to Charm Farm us down. Actually, no, we just come in with the Deoxys, we snipe with one Poison Jab, and we take that game. But into the next battle, we see a Poliwrath in the lead, and I do believe these battles were sent in before Poliwrath Community Day, so I think that is a mod shot Poliwrath. We're going to shield up the Charge Move here from the Registeel. They're actually running Flash Cannon, so that's interesting. We're now going to go for the Zap Cannon. Can we land it up against the Registeel? No, unfortunately they do shield, but we get the attack drop, and we got there just one turn before they made it to the Flash Cannon. So I guess that's the best case scenario for the Deoxys. We were definitely not going to flip that in the 2-shield scenario. We're now going to go for a crunch into this Registeel. Unfortunately, like I said, not running Earthquake, so this is not a great matchup for us. But they go for Zap Cannon. They are running Zap Cannon and Flash Cannon, so no Focus Blast, meaning we actually completely wall this Registeel's moveset. So that's really nice for the Steelix. We go for a crunch there, and we should be able to go for one more crunch and take out this Registeel. The opponent goes for another Zap Cannon, and they do not get the attack drop here. So hopefully a crunch will be enough damage, but no, we're going to continue to overfarm. I do actually like this play here because they keep going for Zap Cannon, which is double resisted. We've got nearly 100 energy. I think we do have 100 energy now. We go for Psychic Fangs and we get one extra Dragon Tail in. Wow, I'm really good at talking right now, but we can go for the Psychic Fangs into the Poliwrath coming back in, and that doesn't do an awful lot of damage. I'm sure we did get debuffed a few times there from the Zap Cannon, but we go for a second Psychic Fangs, and we are going to stay in this matchup, let them throw a charge move here, let the Steelix go down. They do full send the Dynamic Punch, and we come in with the Pidgeot here. We are going to let the Scald go through. That does a significant amount of damage, and they get the attack drop, which is really unfortunate here. We're now going to go for a Feather Dance into Cresselia. Of course, they don't shield the first move, as it makes a lot of sense to debuff them before they get off a charge move. We're now going to shield the Moonblast and very likely go for another Feather Dance before they get to the next charge move. So we go for the Feather Dance, and Feather Dance does actually grab a shield from the opponent, so that is good for us. We are now going to have to tank this move, but they are quad debuffed, and we do just about live that. We are now going to go for a Brave Bird, and from this range, Brave Bird doesn't do that much damage because of the debuff from that Scald. We make it to another Brave Bird just before the timer runs out, and it's not enough damage to take them out, and now unfortunately Moonblast will be taking out the Pidgeot, and we do lose that game. But into the next battle, we see Pidgeot into Cresselia. So once again, we're just going to stay in this matchup, debuff their attack. I don't think we'll be able to grab shields from Cresselia, but who knows? Let's see. We're going to go straight for that Feather Dance once again, and we do get the attack drop straight away before they get off their own charge move. Moonblast, not really going to do an awful lot of damage, and we can overfarm now. We're going to farm to the Brave Bird here and then go for the Feather Dance once again. So can we grab a shield here? No shield once again, but at this point, we should be looking pretty good here. They go for another Moonblast. They actually get the attack drop once again on their Moonblast, so quite unfortunate for the Pidgeot, but whatever. We're running Feather Dance, so we can't really complain about attack drops, but we're now going to farm to 100 energy, go for the Brave Bird, and Brave Bird will be doing a ton of damage. No, actually grabbing the shield, and we do make it to another Brave Bird before they can fully Psychic Up, farm us down, and that puts them into range where unfortunately we're only going to get like 1 or 2 Poison Jabs, so not really the best farming opportunity for the Deoxys, but they come in with a Virizion, and we do resist these double kicks, although they're still chunking a fair bit. They do make it to the Sacred Sacred Sword, and we are going to overfarm massively and then swap and catch it onto the Steelix. So interesting play here. They go for another Sacred Sword, and unfortunately, before we can get the farm down, they will make it to a third Sacred Sword. This will get Steelix incredibly low here, but let's see what they've got in the back. It is an Alolan Muck, so we're now going to go for the Psychic Fangs bait. We did build up all the way to the Earthquake, but the opponent calls the bait, and now we're going to continue to overfarm. I like this play because this forces them to throw pretty much straight away here, and now they come in. They try to snipe or catch a move on the Cresselia. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to full send the Zap Cannon, and it takes out the Muck. The opponent calls the bait, or I don't know what they were trying to do there, but we're able to take out the Muck and take that game. Into next game, we see the opponent safe swap into a Walrein after leading with their Swampert, and we're going to respond with our Steelix and go straight for a Psychic Fangs. Now, Psychic Fangs not going to do an awful lot of damage. The opponent, I don't believe they farmed to the Earthquake. No, they did. I can't count. Well, I mean, these battles are in double speed, so let's not be too harsh on me, but they do now make it to the Icicle Spear, and Icicle Spear will still not be enough damage to take out the Steelix, so we go for the Crunch, and Crunch won't quite take them out here, which is unfortunate, but we do grab the shield from the opponent, so that's quite good. We're now going to come in with the attack form Deoxys, go for one shield, and hopefully farm them down before they make it to a second Icicle Spear, but the opponent swaps back into their Swampert, so we're going to go for that Psycho Boost, dealing big damage to the Swampert before swapping back into our Pidgeot. We are going to let the first Hydro Cannon go through, and we're going to go for the Wing Attack farm down. No, we're not going to make it, so we do go for the Feather Dance, and this will be taking out the Swampert. They come back in with the Walrein. They do make it to another charge move, which is really unfortunate, but we're going to shield this up. Hopefully Pidgeot can sweep in the end game, and it's a Combo O, so we need to make it to a Feather Dance and a Brave Bird here before they farm us down or make it to the charge move. But unfortunately, we're not quite going to get there in time, I don't think. So we have to settle for the Feather Dance, and we don't have a move loaded on Deoxys. They throw, I think they've probably got back-to-back charge moves at this point. They go for close combat. Actually, no, they definitely didn't, but it doesn't matter. They're still able to Dragon Tail, farm down the Pidgeot, and we do lose that game. But into the next battle, we see Golisopod in the lead, so they are running Shadow Claw. These are double resisted. They can go for Liquidation. It will do some nice damage, but we do very comfortably tank that, and we're now going to swap into our Steelix to counter the opponent's safe swap in the form of Giratina. They go for Dragon Claw, so likely running Ancient Power, which is double resisted by the Steel and Ground typing, so we completely wall this Giratina here, so I wouldn't be surprised if we no-shield this and fully Dragon Tail, farm them all the way down from this range, and we will probably do that and come out with a ton of loaded energy. So gonna let the next move go through. They go for another Dragon Claw. They do actually get us into the yellow health, which is quite nice for them, but they come back in with Golisopod. We can go for the Psychic Fangs and then likely commit to the Crunch for the second charge move, but no, we're just gonna go straight for another Psychic Fangs, and this will start to add up on the Golisopod. They're gonna have to go for a Liquidation to take us out, so we can safely let this move go through. It is the Liquidation, and we come in with the Pidgeot. They come in with Cresselia, and this should be a pretty good matchup for us. We're now going to swap into the attack form Deoxys, and they are double debuffed with Psycho Cut, so attack form Deoxys is actually able to easily tank these fast moves coming from the Cresselia, and look at the poison jab damage. We're going to full send the Zap Cannon just for the sake of it, and Zap Cannon does grab the shield from the opponent. And we're actually going to let this move go through here, even though they are double debuffed. Grass Knot still takes out Deoxys, but we should have enough health on our Pidgeot to take out this Cresselia, but actually I'm not feeling that confident about it anymore. We actually let the Moonblast go through, and once again, they get the attack drop. That is so unfortunate, but we go for the Feather Dance, taking out the Golisopod. We need to make it to back-to-back charge moves to take out this Cresselia. We're going to go for the Feather Dance here, and this should be grabbing the final shield from the opponent, and that will allow us to make it to one final Brave Bird, and the opponent needs to be at back-to-back moves. Actually, it doesn't matter, as we had the move banked anyways. Brave Bird takes out Cresselia, and we take that game. So into the next battle, just starting straight away into a Surfetched lead. Gonna go for the Feather Dance and very likely to grab a shield from the opponent, and we do grab that shield. And the opponent then swaps into Confusion Cresselia. So we're now gonna go for another Brave Bird into Cresselia before swapping into our attack form Deoxys. Now Confusion still look like they're chunking a fair bit, even though Cresselia is very bulky and they are double debuffed. But we're now going to go for another Zap Cannon just for the sake of it, because we can. And Zap Cannon grabs the shield, but we get the attack drop here, and that does allow us to make it to the Psycho Boost. And even though it's resisted, Psycho Boost will still take out Cresselia as they come back in with their Surfetched. We're now going to come in with the Pidgeot, let this move go through, and the opponent goes for a Leaf Blade bait there, which we do live very comfortably. We're now going to swap into our Steelix, and unfortunately, yeah, they do double resist the Dragon Tails, but we can go for Psychic Fangs, lower their defense, and this should still be an okay matchup, but they're already at a charge move. It is just an Aerial Ace, so they must be running Aerial Ace and Ancient Power there, otherwise they wouldn't have thrown the Aerial Ace. They would have farmed up a bit more energy, but now we're looking to be in a fairly good position. We can tank this. I think we have to, because Surfetch very likely has another charge move loaded. We just have to farm to the back-to-back Psychic Fangs. We actually farm one short here. Not sure about this, but Psychic Fangs takes out the Togekiss, and we still make it to Psychic Fangs number 2 up against this Surfetched, and we're able to take that game. And into the next battle, we see Pidgeot into Escavalier. So once again, just going to stay in this lead matchup. We do resist all of the charge moves, or the typical charge moves, coming from this Escavalier. We do lose the CMP tie, but it's just a drill run that is double resisted. But they wanted to get it off before we debuff their attack. And the opponent does call the bait there. It doesn't really matter too much, as all we're looking to do is lower their attack. Grabbing shields is just a bonus. But they go for another drill run, doesn't do much damage. The fact they're staying in makes me think that they're weak to Pidgeot in the back. But this isn't a conventional team. We're not looking to swap out and save the Pidgeot or anything like that. We're just looking to lower the opponent's attack. And unfortunately, that still doesn't quite take them out, but a drill run still will not be enough damage to take out the Pidgeot either, and they come in with a Charizard. So we're going to come in with the Steelix. We do resist the wing attack damage, but unfortunately, a Blastman will do huge damage, super effective, and they full send it straight away. But we do live. That Steelix is incredibly bulky, like I've mentioned. We go for the Psychic Fangs, and the opponent lets that go through. We should actually live a Dragon Claw, so we will let it go through. And Dragon Claw doesn't do much damage. We make it to Psychic Fangs number 2, and this will go unshielded by the Charizard, and we get the Dragon Tail farm down, and they've got a Venusaur in the back. We make it to one final Psychic Fangs in time. This will debuff their defense, and actually we grab a shield from the opponent, so we're going to come in with the Deoxys here, and it looks like we're going to go for the BM. Can we make it to a Zap Cannon into the Venusaur? No, absolutely not. Look at that Vine Whip damage, that's insane. But we can go for the Psycho Boost and easily take out the Venusaur. That would one-shot them from full health anyways, but we're able to take that game. And into, I believe, the final battle of this video, we lead into a Swampert. So once again, very nice lead for us. The opponent over farming, allowing us to make it to the Feather Dance before they go for the Hydro Cannon. They let it go through, but these Hydro Cannons are just not going to do much damage anymore. So they really needed to throw before we threw our move. And now they do make it to a second Hydro Cannon, but this just does not threaten us at all. And actually, we will be able to live a third Hydro Cannon now after going for a Feather Dance. So really comfortable matchup, and we grab the shield from the opponent as well. So once again, just going to let this move go through. Probably going to go for another Feather Dance anyways, or just over farm. Make sure they throw their energy straight away. I like this play, and Hydro Cannon will finally take us out, but we've got a shield advantage. We can come in, use one shield, and go for the full Poison Jab farm down. So we shield up the Hydro Cannon and go for the Poison Jab farm down. It is resisted, so we get quite a nice farm, and the opponent's going to think about what to come in with, and they come in with the Cresselia. We've already seen us one-shot Cresselia. We go for Zap Cannon, and it nearly one-shots them once again, but we get the full Poison Jab farm down. We make it to the Psycho Boost, and this is resisted damage, but Psycho Boost is going to do like half of the Alolan Muck's health there. We come in with the Steelix, and we should be able to very easily close out this game with the Steelix. They go for Dark Pulse. That just does absolutely nothing to the Steelix, and these Poison Jabs are triple resisted by the Steel and Rock, Steel and Ground typing. We go for the Psychic Fangs, grabbing the shield, and at this point we can just safely shield once. They go for the Acid Spray. That was probably the play there, but unfortunately for them it's not going to help, and we go for Psychic Fangs number 2, taking out the Muck, and we take that game. So that's going to be it for today's video. So incredibly fun battles to watch. So if you did enjoy it, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment letting me know. And as well, don't forget to respond to the question of the day if you haven't done so already. And if you want to see more content like this in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. That way you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.